Here we go again. This is from the same training session as the previous sparring video, this time with steel. Here I was aiming for Lianna's arm, but accidentally hit the hand, and as I mentioned in the other video, we don't count hand hits to discourage them for safety, even though they would be perfectly viable in real historical duel. If you're wondering why we more often use synthetic swords in sparring, it's mainly because it was more affordable for the school to acquire a bunch of those as loaner gear for students who don't have their own.
Nice. Tippy.
I tried to beat her sword aside with a false edge cut, but she caught it on the strong of her blade and countered, which I in turn parried. Here's another case where I tried to interrupt the attack by cutting to the arm, but again I got the hand instead. There I try to go to a high guard, but the jacket isn't properly broken in yet and makes it very hard for me to raise my arms. Here I pretended to throw an attack on the right side, but then turned it into a cut to the left arm. This one would have hit me in the head if I hadn't moved back, because I moved my blade too soon. Goes to show how important it is to move to be extra safe. I opened with a feint thrust, turned it into a cut which Lianna caught. I hesitated for a moment but raised it up just in time to parry that. Both a little hesitant here, waiting for an opening. Here again I feint with a thrust and cut. You can probably hear me breathing heavily. Yeah, I need to improve my endurance, that's for sure. Has always been one of my major problems, but it's getting better. That was pretty neat.
That was clean.
So I stayed in contact with her blade and then used the momentum to come around for the head cut. Oxygen, please. Making jokes at my own expense. Now against Chris, he's quite tough to fight because he's developed a very aggressive fighting style, which I find rather challenging to deal with. So you can see him pressing the attack while he keeps parrying my counters, and then he throws that low cut to the leg. Very nicely done. And here, same thing again, basically. Comes in with a feint, then throws low, which I didn't see coming, and that's that. There I landed a false edge cut, but I wasn't satisfied with it because it connected with a flat, so that's no good. Here he's starting another charge where I'm basically pointing my sword in his face, so that's one way to discourage that. Insufficient contact there, didn't count it. Here I interrupted his attack with a cut to his arm, but I think I should have moved back sooner because that could have still hit me if it had been just a little closer.
No, that was kind of flat.
Again, called that one off because of poor edge alignment.
Afterblow.
Here Chris gets me in the chest while I rise up to guard, and I throw the cut shortly after.
Looked good.
The reason why I was asking there to make sure was because I didn't feel much of that hit, so sometimes it can be difficult to tell whether or not it was a good hit, and then it's always good to just ask, and what do you think? Did you feel like you executed the cut well? And whenever there is any doubt, the attacker is always willing to call the hit off. Here I pretend to throw an undercut and then turn it into a vertical cut to the arm.
Get him! Why did you stop?
I was trying to false edge cut and stuck.
Oh.
There's a weird little blooper for you.
Careful with the mats, guys.
Yeah. That's dumb.
Keep fighting.
So like I said, I was trying to throw a false edge cut, but the point got stuck in the mat, which is a really bizarre freak accident. Anyway. Just being very cautious here. Keeping distance. Still trying the high guard sometimes, even though it feels super awkward.
I think Skall's had very little left by the time it hit you. I would say it's yours.
Absolutely correct. You can see in the slow-mo that there was very little force behind it, so it would not have done much. Quick arm snipe here. That was Lianna trying to beat my blade aside to follow up with an attack, but I just moved it out of the way.
Nothing there.
Oh, no.
Another false thrust into a cut. Parried. Counter. Parry. That was a pretty close one.
Good.
Here was just a tiny bit quicker with my cut before she could raise the guard all the way. And Chris again. Again, I hit the hand. I really need to work on my accuracy, it seems. Chris is throwing a nice clean cut to the torso, but gets an afterblow to the head. This extra rotation you see in the beginning of the leg cut can make it look like a high cut, so that makes it tricky to catch in time. This is me taking too much time trying to figure out what to do, so I was just holding the sword in front of me, not an effective defense. And here Chris does a nice smooth transition from a high to a low cut. Notice how he's using the energy from my strike to power his cut to my leg. And that's it. Thanks for watching.